All right, so this video will focus on 6.4. The very first thing I'd like you to do is I'd like you to pause the video and try to figure out these 6 problems. So kind of a review. All right, so now that you've gone through and had a chance to do this, the percent of 15 is 6. Well, you take 15 divided by 6, or I'm sorry, what percent of 15 is 6? So it'd be 6 divided by 15, which is 40. 22 is what percent of 40? It's 55%. You just take 22 divided by 40. What number is 60% of 55? So you can do this a couple of ways, but you can put down 60 over 100, and then x over 55, and you'll get 33. 30% of 63 is what number? So 30 over 100 times x over 63, and that would be 18.9. 0.05 over 100 of what number is 5% of what number is. So then that would be x over, let's do that one actually. So if I look at it, I'm going to have look at this number 5 here. And the first thing I know is that it's 0.5 over 100 equals, and it says of what number. So I don't know what the number, the total is. I know it's an x. I know the top is 0.425. When I multiply this out, I'm going to have 42.5 equals 0.5x divided by 0.5 on both sides. And I'll have x equals, and if I take 42.5 divided by 0.5, I'll get my 85, which is the answer here. And then my last one that I have is 3/4 is 75% of what number? Well, let's think about this for a second. So I know that 3/4 is 75% of what number? So 75% of what number I don't know. I'll say equals 75 over 100. So this would become 75x equals, and then 3 times 100 is 300 divided by 4 is 300 divided by 4 is 75. So x equals 1. And that makes sense. That 3/4 is really 75% of 1. Yeah, it totally makes sense. So that's a quick review. If I go through, how could we use equivalent form of a percent proportion to solve percent problems? So on this one here, we're going to go through and say that there's a total of how many people that have gone through and voted for people in general. So I'm going to go through and add up all these up. So 27, 36, and then 50, so 60 people, I think. So this is a total of 60. So like Sue is 15, I'll write this down here, 15 out of 60. So 15 over 60. I know that Miguel is 9 out of 60. I know that Leon is 24 out of 60. And I know that Hong is going to be 12 out of 60. Now, if I add up all these numbers, I should get 60 over 60 or 100%, right? So then we'll go through and start solving these. So let's do 15 divided by 60, which equals 25%. This next one is 9 divided by 60, and that's 15%. Then I'll have this one here, and I have 24 divided by 60 is 40%. And then finally the last one is 12 divided by 60, and I have 20%. So let's now add these up and make sure I have 100%. So I have 20 plus 40 plus 15 plus 25. And that's my 100% of my votes that I've counted for. So that's how you do that. This next one says, what number is 55% of 80? Well, I could do this a couple of ways. I could do 55 over 100 equals A over 80. This way totally works. And when I do that, what do I actually get as a number here? And it looks as though this is the exact same as this, which looks like it's the exact same as this. What is 11 divided by 20? That might be 55. All right, so we're going to look here, and it says that without doing calculations, choose the equation that you can not use to answer the equation or the question. Well, the first one is 55% of 80, so I know it would be 55 over 100 equals A over 80, so this one totally works. This one here is also 11 divided by 20 is 55% times 80, which is the same thing. 55 or 0.55 times 80 will work. This one here will give me something totally different because this will be 0.55 over 80. So the one that does not work is this one right here. Let's mark this one off. Boom, boom. This one here, 24 is 60% of what number? So I have 60 over 100 equals 24. That's perfect. And then you can do, let's just write this out so I know. So if I have, because sometimes if I get confused, I'll just write down 24 over W equals 60 over 100, which equals 2400 over or equals 60W divided by 60 divided by 60. Boom. And then I have my 40. So W equals 40. All right, so let's look at this one here. So if I do 0.6 of 40, that would work as well. That equals 24. If I put a 40 here, 24 divided by 60 does not work. And then this one here, 3/5 times 40. If I figure that out, I should get 3. So 3 times 40 is 120 divided by 5. Let's just try that. 120 divided by, oops, put up here, 20 divided by 5 equals 24. So these three work. This one does not work. So the next one I want to do is I want you to take a moment and try to figure this one out. So here are all the answers. Very similar to the first one we did. The big key idea here is this. This is the percent equation, all right? And the big thing that I want you to realize is that if I take my part of the whole, that's my A, and then if I take my percent in the fraction is in decimal form, which is the all right, so this whole percent equation thing is saying that basically if you have the part, that equals the percent of the fraction in decimal form times the whole. And to give you an example of that, if I had 75% of 32, we'd write that down as 75 over 100 equals something over 32 because 32 is the whole. Well, another way that I could write this, that's kind of fast, and that you may have learned in another year, is I could change this into a decimal. That's what this is saying to do. So that percent turns into a decimal, which is 0.75 times my whole, which in this case is 32. And when I use my calculator and figure this out, and I do 0.75 times 32, I get 24. So my whole is equal to, or I'm sorry, my part is equal to 24. That's what this A is here. So I can rewrite this as 24 equals 0.75 times 32. And this is representing this equation right here. So if I want to figure out 24% of 50, I can do 0.24 times 50, and I get 12. For example 2, 9.5 is what percent of 25? We'll just take 9.5 divided by 25. And I'm just filling pieces in. This is the part. This is my whole. I'm solving for the percent, right? So I'm going to divide by 25. That's why it's 9.5 divided by 25. And there's the answer. 39 is 52% of what? So 39 is the part. So that'd be 39 equals 0.52 times the whole. Right here. I have to divide by 0.52, and I get 75. This one here, I look at them, If I take 10% of, or what number is 10% of 20? If I take 0.1 times 20, I'll get 0.1, and these are the rest of the answers. And then finally, I want to make a 16% tip on this food. Well, here's the total right here, 29.15. I want to figure out 15%, right? Oh, this one says, I'm sorry, so this one says find the percent of sales tax. Okay, so if I want to figure out the tax, again, I know my part, which is the 1.65, equals the percentage, which is the percent, I don't know what that is right now, times the whole, which is 2750, right? So if I take this and divide by 2750, I'll take 1.65 divided by 2750. I get 6%. So this is a 6% sales tax. This one here, to find out a 16% tip on the food, is I look at the whole food. I wonder what number they're using here. If they're using the tax or not. Oh, they don't use it. That's funny. So you take the 2750 is the whole, right? So 2750 times the percent, which I don't know what it is, or times 0.16 equals the part. So let's just try that real fast and just do 0. Sorry. So 16 times 2750, and that equals $4.40. All right, and then finally, what if the amount of a 20% tip on the food total? Well, it's funny because whenever I used to wait tables, I would expect people to do 20% on the total, not on the, so not just on the food. But so if I take 2750 times 0.2, that would be 54.55, right around there, $5.50. So